If you ever wondered why, despite the chills down your spine and the urge to cover your eyes, you can't just seem to turn away from a horror movie? Why do scenes that make our hearts race and our palms sweat also make us come back for more? At first glance, it seems paradoxical. Why do we seek out experiences designed to make us feel afraid? The answer lies deep within our psyche. So if you're a horror movie fan, you'd want to stick around for this one. In olden times, our ancestors would face constant danger wherever they lived. The constant vigilance was required to avoid becoming the prey of a larger or more deadly animal. This, as the psychologists say, stems into our love for horror movies. Because horror movies do such a good job of simulating threatening situations, our emotional responses to them are similar to those we'd experience if we encountered a real-life threat. And since we don't encounter real-life threats as often as ancient humans, going to horror films can be a novel experience. And that lets us put our innate threat detection system to use. So let's go by the reasons one by one as to why do we love horror movies so much. The excitation transfer theory. To take a little deeper dive into this question, I'd like to introduce you to Dolph Zillman. Dolph was an influential communication scholar at the University of Alabama. He put forth in the 1970s the excitation transfer theory. According to the excitation transfer theory, the physiological arousal from one stimulus can persist and transfer to another unrelated stimulus. This transferred arousal enhances the emotional experience of the second stimulus, leading to a stronger or more intense emotion when experiencing the second stimulus. In other words, the leftover excitement from one thing can make the next thing feel even more intense or emotional. Now you might ask how this theory answers our question. This theory proposes that our enjoyment is created by the negative effect created by the film, followed by a positive effect when the threat is resolved, and thus leading to a euphoric high. According to this theory, the physiological arousal we experience during the scary scenes doesn't just vanish. Instead, it intensifies our positive emotions once the threat is over, making the relief and joy we feel afterward even more profound. Watching horror movies provides a safe opportunity to imagine facing dangers and practice how we might react to them. Additionally, when individuals successfully endure a horror movie without any harm, they may feel a sense of achievement and control over the fear they encountered. Consequently, this can boost their confidence when dealing with other stressful situations. Morbid curiosity. Another good reason why we are so drawn to horror movies might be our fascination with darker aspects of human nature. Some researchers suggest that our love for horror tales stems from a morbid curiosity about things like death and terror. It is found in a study that individuals with high level of curiosity about these grim subjects are not only more inclined to watch horror movies, but are also less likely to feel scared after watching them. Horror movies as therapy. Believe it or not, recent studies hint at surprising use of horror flicks in clinical settings to aid those healing with anxiety or trauma. One study fairly stood out when it revealed that individuals who indulged in horror films were less psychologically distressed during the tumultuous times of COVID-19 pandemic. An even more fascinating revelation suggested that the fans of apocalyptic horror subgenre seemed to have an edge. They reported feeling more mentally prepared for the uncertainties of additional waves of pandemic. This means that the scares on the screen could translate to a sense of readiness for the real-world challenge. While people who don't enjoy horror may not find this beneficial, for those who do like the genre, watching horror movies could be a sort of exposure therapy for them. When certain things or situations cause anxiety to someone, it is common for people to avoid those situations. Although it might seem to work in the shorter run, in the long run, this avoidance can make both the fear and anxiety worse. Exposure therapy breaks this cycle by safely confronting your fears head-on. Social aspect. A rather interesting and light-hearted reason could be the company you watch horror movies with. Watching movies can bring people together. Horror films, for that matter, often create a shared experience, a thrilling roller coaster of emotions that we can discuss and dissect with our friends and family. The shared thrill can actually strengthen bonds and create a sense of unity. Plus, let's admit it, there's a certain joy in seeing our friends jump out of their seats or hearing them scream alongside us. It's all part of the fun. So, whether it's the thrill, the curiosity, the storytelling, or the psychological catharsis, our fascination with horror movies is as complex as the human mind itself. And perhaps that's the biggest allure of it all. So, next time you watch horror movies with your friends, don't forget to share this psychology bite. That was up for today's video, and I'll see you again with another better slapping video. Till then, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And at the end, always remember to be empathetic. Bye.